The idea we are going over today is actually going to be in a notebook of mine. We have a test. This is a content creation test. The duration is going to be for 1 week. We are going to test out two different emotions. We're going to test out excitement and we're going to test out frustration. We're going to do this for 7 days. We're just going to do 4 exciting ideas, 3 frustrating ideas, centered around a story brand. So what I've created is a story brand of a specific target audience. We're going to name my persona Kevin. Kevin is my persona. Who is Kevin? What does he do? What does he like to do? Where does he work? How does he drive home? Who is this guy? What does he do? Well, Kevin wants deep insights into their prospects and candidates to save time and build better relationships. What does that mean? They want deep insights into their prospects and candidates to save time and build better relationships. Well, we got to figure out where Kevin works. What type of person would want to do this? Okay, so they want deep insights into their prospects and candidates, save time, build better relationships. Okay, he's looking into prospects and candidates. Prospects and candidates. So what would that lead to? If it's prospects and candidates, we would say, let's put that about like right here. It's already work. If he was working with prospects and candidates, he would probably work in sales. Candidates, HR. Prospects, candidates. Probably talent acquisition. Prospects, journalism. Candidates. You could even say government. Candidates. Does Kevin work in government? We could say government. Now, Kevin wants to save time and build better relationships. So the type of person that he would be. Well, we got to think about that. That's actually a very interesting question that you need to think about. Save time, build better relationships. Well, what type of people are focused on efficiency and want to actually build a tight-knit, probably an extroverted person? All right, so Kevin wants to save time and build better relationships. What does that mean? If he wants to save time, he's focused upon efficiency. If he's focused upon efficiency, he probably is a. I want to say hardworking. If you're focused on efficiency and doing things like optimal, like from start to finish, and you're focused on speeding that up, I'd say hardworking. So we got extroverted, hardworking, build better relationships, probably collaborative. Well, that's an assumption. We would say that's an assumption. These are probably all of assumptions, but collaborative. So that's not something I can test, right? Collaborative, build better relationships. Okay, what type of relationships are we talking about? I mean, that's a great question. We'll probably come up with some great questions. What type of relationships are we talking about? All right, so this is a key question, right? Why is this a key question? Well, if we want to speak to the right person, we need to be very specific about who we're talking to. What type of relationships are we talking about? Well, if we look at the different types of work, these types of relationships would be in sales. It would probably be a sales team. Um, probably be a sales team. So that would be like working together. But is that focused upon our main goal? I think we leave it at that. We don't even put in types of relationships because we're just trying to find out what entertaining messaging would reach out and grasp their attention, and we can figure it out from here. If we need more, we'll add more at the end. Um, but now we move on here. This person has a villain, a problem. So Kevin, type of person, extroverted, hardworking, maybe collaborative, depending on the type of relationship. Um, works in sales, HR, talent acquisition, journalism, maybe government. He has a problem, and his problem is information overload. What does that mean? Well, overwhelming amounts of data scattered across different sources, looking on the internet, hundreds of web pages, it makes it difficult for users to find and synthesize information. With AI, you can do that. A lot of people don't necessarily know how to use AI to the best of its ability. But it's getting to the point where every single person could use it to minimize the amount of time spent working on mundane things, figuring out problems. Now, is there a give and take from that? Are you speeding up the research process for the sake of not learning as much and more so just focus on memorization? Maybe. But if you apply memorization, that's learning. Something to think about. Kevin is dealing with information overload. He's spending excessive time manually gathering and organizing data on prospects, candidates, key decision makers from multiple sources. Man, he's just going on and typing away, trying to figure out who are these people, who am I talking to, key decision makers, how do I even find that? From all these different sources. We got a couple different frustration. He has an internal and a philosophical problem. Internally, he's got frustration and stress from the time-consuming and tedious process of data collection and analysis, leading to decreased productivity and missed opportunities. Hold up. Frustration and stress from the time-consuming and tedious process of data collection and analysis, leading to decreased productivity and missed opportunities. Frustration and stress. Okay, those are the two key emotions. We're going to write these down because these are key here. This is what Kevin has. Okay? He is doing time-consuming and tedious work of data collection and analysis. So he is collecting data and analyzing that data. What does AI do? Collects data, analyzes it for you. This is leading to decreased productivity and missed opportunities. So, Kevin is he's stuck doing research for things that he doesn't or he shouldn't be doing. If it's time consuming and tedious, maybe it is something that you need to do. Manual research, taking the time to research on your own and find the sources and figure out what the information says and condense it is good. But not when you're put on a timer. So for example, let's look at where Kevin works, right? Sales, HR, talent acquisition, journalism, government. Journalism is a massive high pressure environment, we're given a time limit on a piece, and you got to go find the research, interview the people, put it all into a good format, and give it in at a certain time. So there is the first blockade there. If you take the amount of time, excessive time that Kevin is spending on his work, and he's saying it's tedious, he is doing something that he probably doesn't want to be doing. He probably doesn't want to be there. It's probably a frustrating part of his day, and it adds stress to him and his work and his life. And that's the internal problem. The philosophical problem: it is unjust for professionals to waste valuable time and energy on mundane tasks where they could be focusing on building meaningful relationships and achieving their goals. What does that mean? It is unjust for professionals to waste valuable time and energy on mundane tasks when they could be focused on building meaningful relationships and achieving their goals. This person is motivated. We got to add that. Hardworking, motivated. This person is trying to achieve goals. Achieving their goals. That's a big one right there. And this person, so Kevin, he's like, man, why are we wasting our time doing this? Why am I pulling up 8 different tabs to figure out information on one person or one company? It doesn't make sense. When you have tools that can do it faster. I'm focused on efficiency. I want to get this done faster so that I can be better at what I'm doing. Kevin in his job. Now, what are we doing here? Well, we need to move on from Kevin. So this is who Kevin is. This is what he's going through. He's frustrated. He's stressed. And what we're trying to do now is we're trying to take language that speaks to Kevin about key pieces of his life, of what's going on. Now, what is Kevin doing on a daily basis? Extrovert, hardworking, motivated. He probably works a 9 to 5. If he's in one of these industries, sales, HR, talent acquisition, journalism, government, there's going to be stress and frustration. We're going to put this here. We're going to lump these together. All right. Stress and frustration. Then we're going to think on the flip side. What does this person want? What makes him excited? What's the inverse of all the things we can find here? But first, we got to find these. Okay, so stress and frustration. What is Kevin? What's going on in his life? What's going on? Well, let's brainstorm. Let's think of 10 frustrating things that Kevin could be going through. Let's think about it. Frustrated. What am I frustrated about? Time-consuming tasks. What is a time-consuming task in sales? Okay. Time-consuming task in sales is probably I am frustrated with the lack of connects per day. Number 1. 2. I am stressed about no. We're only sticking to let's stick to one. Let's stick to one. Let's just do frustration. Okay. All right. What about HR? What are they frustrated about? Hmm. The amount of work, amount of people they have to talk to, maybe? I'm not in HR, so I'm just brainstorming here. But if I worked in HR and I was dealing with people every single day, there's probably a lot of conversations that need to be had. Hmm. But then if we go back here, excessive time manually gathering and organizing data on prospects, candidates, and key decision makers. Hmm. I don't know if it would be HR then. I'd say it'd only be talent acquisition, like recruiters that are actively researching people. All right. Frustration and stress from time consuming and tedious process of data collection and analysis. Whoa. Let's take a step back. Process of data collection and analysis. This changes the job. Kevin's working a job where he's collecting data and analyzing it. But I mean, you could do that in sales. You could do that in talent acquisition, journalism, data collection, analysis, government. I wouldn't say government's here. Take that back. So if we find a person that's in sales, talent acquisition, or recruiters, or journalism, you're extroverted, hardworking, motivated, and assuming collaborative. You're probably frustrated with the lack of connects per day, probably the sheer amount of people you have you have to analyze. Um, hmm. Probably have a different goal, and this isn't getting you to your goal. Because if we're talking about like, okay, in sales, it's like you want to get to connects, meetings, close deals. But if you're in talent acquisition, you want to get people onboarded. You want to get people there in into the company. Journalism, you're more so I need the information. I need the information. I don't know a lot about journalism, but I would assume it's a lot of data collection from different sources that either support or deny each other, and then analyzing the two and creating a conclusion, and then posting that. So a lot of information, sheer amount of people. I mean, sheer amount of data. That could be the same one. Hmm. The speed, the lack of speed at which the money is coming. Sheer amount, the lack of speed at which the deals happen. Ooh, but does that connect with journalism? The speed at which the deals complete or completed, maybe. I don't know. Journalism is. Hmm, I'm not sure. But if we think about more frustrations, data, people you have to analyze, lack of speed. Hmm. Disorganization. Maybe like the like frustrated with the disorganization and having to format it yourself. So maybe using a tool that, or you're probably using a software type of person. So we'd say tools used, probably be a software of some sorts. I mean, everybody uses a phone, I guess, but we'd say software for formatting specifically. So formatting data. So what is the software for formatting data? What does that look like? It's probably Docs, Excel, um, some type of tool like a SAS. Maybe like a tool like Miro. Maybe Notion. Okay, so using this type, what is Kevin frustrated about? What is Kevin frustrated about? Probably memorization. Probably bookkeeping. So bookkeeping. So this is a different one than formatting. Yeah, it's definitely 2Ks. That does not look right. Bookkeeping. So this is different from formatting because formatting is condensing. So I would not say formatting, having to format yourself. I would say condensing, which added on. Condensing information. Bookkeeping is completely different because you have to keep um, a log of connects and people interacted with, and you have to keep logs on each person. You know, connections. What did we talk about last time? What information did this person give me that I can use in the next conversation? Things like that. Um, let's get three more. Let's get three more in here. Okay, three more. Three more. I would say I don't know how else to phrase this, but like shifting through shit, like shitty leads. Um, I mean that's a. I think that's something everybody deals with in every single sales, recruiting, journalism. Like you got to go through the stuff that just doesn't connect to what you're doing at all. I'd say probably in sales, you get people that are like, "Why is this person here?" Um, I'm sure that happens to recruiters, journalism as well. Frustrated with that. Probably frustrated about time management. This is a reach. I'll label this as a reach. The reason I say that is from all of this information we've learned about Kevin, we can kind of start to really, I would say closer to 10, you can start to think of some out there type of stuff. So, like, let's review who Kevin is. Kevin is a extroverted, he's an outgoing, hardworking, motivated individual. If he's extroverted, he's probably collaborative at some sort. He works either in sales, talent acquisition, he's a recruiter, or in some type of journalism, and uses Docs, Excel, a software as a service, Miro, or Notion. You can assume that person, if they're hardworking and motivated, they're probably having to block off pieces of their day just because they have to get stuff done. If they're hardworking, they're going to have to make time for it. Now, does everybody have a calendar? Maybe not. Maybe it's a piece of paper. Maybe it's a journal. Maybe it's a whiteboard, but they probably are blocking off time and they're frustrated with the maybe not frustrated with time management, but they're frustrated with the lack of time they have. Maybe they need more time to do stuff, and this research is taken away from it. Could be. Let's see. Last one here. Let's go something out there, just off the wall. Frustrated with the lack of change. Why are you still using the iPhone 5? You should be using the iPhone 15. Why are you still using paper and pencil for math equations when I have the calculator? This is something this person, Kevin, may be frustrated with. This is an extra reach, we'll say. But whatever. We're dialing Kevin in right now. All right, so we found frustration. 10 of them. Now we are going to do the exact same thing with excitement. All right. Now, what did the let's start here. We know who Kevin is. We know what he does. We know what kind of tools he uses, and we know what he's frustrated about. So now we can start to infer what he's excited about. Now, what would that be? Easy way to start ideas to get flowing would be looking at the frustration and doing the complete opposite. I'm frustrated with the lack of connects per day. Close deals make me happy. Is that the complete opposite, though? That'd make a salesperson happy. That'd make a recruiter happy. A journalist, and like I said, I'm not too familiar with journalists, so I'm gonna be honest. I really want to hone this in. I'm gonna take journalists out of there. Kevin is. We've seen too many signs that journalism doesn't quite fit. So we're diving even deeper here. We're making this as specific as possible. So the next one, sheer amount of people you have to analyze. Okay, so the opposite of that would be I'm excited. I'm excited about the amount of people you have to. I'm excited about the amount of people I have to talk to. No, I don't know if you could do the opposite of that. The opposite of that would be low deals, not talking to a lot of people. And is this person really excited about talking to people? Sure, they're extroverted when they want to be, but these people really like talking to them. So I don't know if talking to people would be an excitement for Kevin. Let's move on. Sheer amount of data you have to analyze. That's kind of the same one there. The lack of speed at which deals are completed. Closed deals make me happy. Let's see here. Disorganization, having to format yourself. I like. Okay. Now you're thinking about process here. So process would be I like easy deals, maybe. And I keep referring back to deals. I would call them deals. Easy deals. Quick wins make me excited. We're going to change this to not happy, excited. Closed deals make me excited. Quick wins make me excited. What is something that I'm just like, yes, excited about? I'm celebrating. What am I celebrating? Quick wins make me excited. Good conversations. Good conversations give a little bit of dopamine. Hard working, putting in that effort. Putting in effort makes me excited. I mean, if you're a hardworking person and you grind, I mean, you enjoy the grind a little bit. It's got to be in some aspects here. I would say hardworking, grind, like not a try hard. Hardworking, yeah, we'll just say hardworking. Putting in effort makes me excited. Kevin's a go-getter. What else makes Kevin excited here? Putting in effort makes me excited. Good conversations make me excited. What about nailing the process? Oh, here we go. In these types of jobs, talent acquisition, recruiters, sales, you probably got scripts. If you nail that script without even not even looking at it, and you hit them with a little piece of psychology, and they open up a little bit more, and maybe they explain a little bit more, or maybe you ask the right question and they open up a little bit more, and you're kind of like, yes, like I'm doing a good job. Um, hmm. Executing. What would we say? Executing precisely, maybe. Team wins. Hmm. Probably hitting quota, or over hitting or going over quota. Let's think of some reaches here. Back-to-back wins. So streaks, like winning streaks. Person could be a sports fan. Winning streaks. So we reach here. What makes Kevin excited? Competition. That's a good one. Probably furthering their knowledge. That's a reach. Cool. All right. So we got their frustration. Got how Kevin. What makes him excited? And now what we are gonna do here is we're gonna create 4 pieces of messaging based upon these here that are the best. And how are we going to do that? Well, we are actually going to do that with a method. So what we are going to do is we're going to copy this. We're going to paste it here. And what we are about to do is we're going to tally votes. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with one. And what we're going to do is we're going to have a list here. And what you're going to do is we're going to tally off how many each one wins versus each other. Okay, so how do we do that? So first thing we do is we go one versus everything. How many times we circle that? Okay, so what this is going to look like is you're going to do this. All right, so basically what I did here is I took all 10 of these and I put them in a format to where we could versus them versus each other. So if you had to choose, here we'll create a little fight box here. So you have kind of like an image. What you'd do is you'd take 1 versus 2. And you'd pick one. I am frustrated with the lack of connects per day. Sheer amount of people I have to analyze. Me, I'd go with 1. So then we'd tally this. Okay. And then you would take 2 out. You know, it's like this. And you put 3. I'd say 1 again. I'm frustrated. What is the magnitude of frustration? I'm frustrated with the lack of connects per day. The lack of speed at which deals are completed. What's a deeper pain? The lack of speed. Gosh, that deal took 3.5 months to close. I'm frustrated with the lack of connects per day. Probably 4 would be better. But then we keep going. 5. Disorganization of the format yourself. Lack of connects per day. Probably. Disorganization. I would say lack of connects. 6. Memorization. I'd go with frustrated with memorization. Okay. We go 7. Bookkeeping, keeping a log. I'd say connects per day. You want these? I mean, these type of people. They want to talk to people. Shifting through shitty leads. Oof. What are you more frustrated about? Probably shitty leads. I'd say shitty leads are very frustrating. Lack of time they have. I'd go with frustrated connects. Frustrated lack of change. Lack of connects probably take off. So we just analyzed 1. Okay, so we put 1 down here. Okay, now we go 2. Now 2 versus 3. Sheer amount of people you have to analyze versus sheer amount of data you have to analyze. I mean, it's kind of the same, but I would say you hate researching people more. You hate looking up information about people. I'd say 3. The information on top of the person. If you don't have a complete profile in a person, it's very frustrating to go to the different websites. Finding the person and just getting them imported into your lead list that's not that frustrating. Lack of, I would say 4. Disorganization, no, I'd say 2. Memorization, no, I'd say 2. Bookkeeping, I'd say this is more frustrating. No, I would not. I take that back. Shifting through shitty leads, yeah. Frustrated with lack of time. I'd say this one. Frustrated with lack of change. All right, that's 2. The amount of data you have to analyze versus the lack of speed, I'd say 4. Sheer amount of data versus disorganization, I'd say data you have to analyze. Memorization of different info, I'd say sheer amount of data you have to analyze. Bookkeeping, keep a lot of people interacted with, I'd say sheer amount of data. Shifting through shitty leads, I'd definitely say shifting through shitty leads is frustrating. Lack of time, nah, I'd say sheer amount of data. Lack of change, I'd say sheer amount of data. You've done 3, now we do 4. Lack of speed versus disorganization, I'd say the lack of speed. You want them to happen fast. Memorization, I'd say the lack of speed. Bookkeeping, I'd say lack of speed. Shifting through shitty leads, the lack of speed at which deals are completed. This is where the money's at. This doesn't, I mean, this is, I would have to go with this. Frustrated lack of time, I would go with, I think this is the biggest one. We'd go one more for 10. Okay. We move on. 5. Disorganization, having to format yourself versus memorization. I'd say memorization is harder. Bookkeeping, disorganization, keeping a log of people interacted with, having to format yourself. I'd say this is harder. 7. Shifting through shitty leads, that's definitely more frustrating than disorganization. Lack of time and lack of change. Disorganization, lack of time they have. This is a maybe. I'd have to give it to it. I'd say that's more frustrating if you run out of time to close deals and you're disorganized. I'd say the disorganization then. Lack of change, I'd say disorganization. Memorization of different info, okay? Memorization versus bookkeeping. Ooh, I would say having to research and finding all the information is tougher. Shifting through shitty leads is terrible. Lack of time versus memorization. I'd say memorization is harder. Lack of change, I'd say memorization is a little bit more frustrating. All right. Bookkeeping, keeping a log of connects people interacted with versus shitty leads. I'd say shitty leads. Lack of time versus bookkeeping, keeping a log of people, frustrated lack of time. I'd say the bookkeeping. And lack of change, I'd say bookkeeping as well. Shifting through shitty leads beats both of these. So we just add 2. Frustrated lack of time versus frustrated with the lack of change. Are they more frustrated about the lack of time they have or the lack of change? I'd say lack of time they have. And that is it. So now we tallied up. This was our before. And this is our final. All right, so number 1 was 4. Lack of speed at which deals are completed. And then it was a tie between 8 and 1. So now if we put these in the box, 1 versus 8, lack of connects per day or shifting through shitty leads. I'd say lack of connects. That directly correlates to business. and shitty leads. All right, and then we'll say, because that was a tie, console prize. Thank you for playing, but didn't get the top three. Sheer amount of data you have to analyze, I'd say, is fourth. So, these are our final ones. These are the ones that we are going to create our copy from. So, this is kind of like all the work that you have to do to get to that method. I'm going to be 100% honest. I don't know what the method's called. I would have to figure out what this method is called when I review this. This is the method I use for prioritizing different things. I do this every single time. If I have a lot of options on my plate, I don't know what to do at the single moment, I'll use this method. And this is our frustration, our top three for frustration. That right here. And now we'll do the exact same thing for excitement. Okay. Let's get these all lined up here. What makes Kevin excited? We're going to figure that out. Okay. We are back. What makes you the most excited? Closed deals make me excited. I think everybody who closes a deal is pretty excited, so it's going to be a tough one to beat. Quick wins, I'd say closed deals. Good conversations, I'd say closed deals. Putting in effort, yep, definitely closed deals. Team wins, closed deals. Hitting going over quota, oof, that's very exciting. Winning streaks, I would say you're winning. Competition, no, I'd say closed deals makes me excited. Furthering their knowledge, closed deals. Okay, that's number one. Quick wins over good conversations, yep. Putting in effort, I'd say quick wins are more exciting. Executing precisely, I'd say quick wins. Team wins, I'd say team wins means everybody hit goal. Quick wins, I'd say team wins there. Hitting going over quota, I'd say that. I'd say that. Winning streaks, I'd say winning streaks would win. Competition, I'd say quick wins. And furthering their knowledge, I'd say quick wins. Good conversations, putting in effort. I'd say good conversations would win that one. Executing precisely, I'd say good conversations. Yeah, I'd say overall good, because this is a subset of a good conversation. Team wins, I'd say team wins is more. Going over quota, definitely. Winning streaks, definitely. Competition, I'd say good conversations, more excited. Furthering knowledge, I would say good conversations. Putting in effort versus executing precisely, I'd say executing precisely. Team wins, I'd say team wins. Hitting going over quota, I would say going over quota is more exciting. Winning streaks, I'd say winning streaks are more exciting. Competition, I'd say competition's more exciting than putting in effort. And furthering their knowledge, more excited. I'd say furthering knowledge is more exciting. All right. Executing precisely. Team wins, I'd say team wins. Hitting going over quota, I'd say going over quota. Winning streaks, I'd say winning streaks. Competition, I'd say competition. I'd say executing. No, I'd say competition. Competition's fun. Furthering their knowledge versus executing precisely, I'd say furthering knowledge. More exciting. Team wins versus going over quota, I'd say going over quota. Winning streaks, I'd say winning streaks over team wins. Competition, I'd say team wins. Furthering their knowledge, team wins makes me excited. Furthering their knowledge, I would say team wins. Hitting going over quota versus winning streaks. Oof. I'd say this is more excited, like in the moment. Winning streaks. Gotta be winning streaks. Competition, I'd say hitting going over quota. Furthering your knowledge, I'd say hitting going over quota. Then you go winning streaks versus competition. I'd say winning streaks. Winning streaks versus furthering their knowledge. I'd say winning streaks. Last but not least, competition versus furthering their knowledge. More excited? I might say competition. All right. So, where does that leave us? Well, let's take a look. It'd have to be 7 first, then 8, then a tie between 1 and 6. Closed deals make me excited. Team wins. Oof. Closed deals is a subset of team wins. Team wins make me excited. And then I'd say closed deals would be the consolation, or even quick wins. So we'd have these two, let's say down here, tied for 4th. Closed wins, or closed deals, quick wins, almost same thing. And that would be for our excitement aspect. All right. So that is it right there. This is good data. Kevin hates, very frustrated by the lack of speed at which deals are completed, very frustrated with the lack of connects per day, and very frustrated with shifting through shitty leads. While Kevin is super excited about hitting or going over quota, getting winning streaks, and team wins. He's all about winning. All about winning, and this is more so just like inconsistency. Frustrated with inconsistency. Okay. Back when we had frustration and stress, these are frustration points, but are these stressed out points? No, stressed out. That's the deep pain. Inconsistency. Now, we have Kevin. This is who Kevin is. This is who Kevin is. Kevin is an extroverted, hardworking, motivated person that uses software, utilizing Docs, Excel, software as a service, Miro, Notion, works in sales or some type of talent acquisition or recruiting position. It's very frustrated with the lack of speed at which deals are completed, very frustrated with the lack of connects per day, and is frustrated with shifting through shitty leads. Whereas Kevin is really excited about hitting, going over quota, winning streaks, and team wins. Now, problem that Kevin has is he's a little stressed out by inconsistency. There's a lot of highs and lows in these types of positions, and you want to maintain consistency as much as possible. Now, the goal today was to complete 4 exciting ideas and 3 frustrating ideas and turn them into copy. The goal of today was to create target messaging for a prospect. Target messaging for a prospect. Now, the way we're going to do this is we're going to take each of these and we're going to take them into a piece of content. The lack of speed at which deals are completed, are completed. And you want to connect this to your idea. So the idea we have here at Bréfd is we would like to speed up the way that deals are completed. That is our goal. Our goal is to help you win faster. Now, if I want to talk to Kevin, the way that I would speak to him is I would say, okay, this is a pain point. Are slow deals killing your vibe? Slow deals are killing my vibe. I get a little angry about it. Are slow deals killing your vibe? Could be. This is a frustration point. Killing the vibe is frustrating. That could be a hook. What you do is now you create hooks. So this is this will evolve to a later video where I talk more about expanding the content, but the most important part of your copy is your heading. There's a specific video on YouTube I want to give credit for. It's a 5-hour or 4-hour course. I'll link it below. I'm going to put up an image, and it's basically the 5 roles that this YouTube creator explains in his copywriting course. And this information is highly effective for people trying to create copy. Feel free to screenshot it, but I would highly recommend go just listen to the course yourself. Those 5 questions is what the reader needs to immediately, within a second, within the time it takes for you to scroll on your phone, needs to be able to subconsciously answer all of these questions. Now, we're going to try to create a heading for each one of our frustrations and excitement. So here we go. I am frustrated with the lack of connects per day. I'm frustrated with the lack of connects per day. Lack of connects per day. How high did you jump when that phone rang? How high did you jump when that prospect called back? You get a call back from a prospect, like, whoa, this person wants to talk to me? How high did you jump when that prospect called back? Okay. Next one. Shifting through shitty leads. Why are you dealing with inconsistent leads when you could just get briefed? Now, what is Briefd? Well, Briefd is actually a custom AI that scrapes data from LinkedIn, company websites, Instagram, and Facebook, and organizes that data into a cohesive data set that analyzes that data for you and extracts key concepts for you to know before you talk to that person. Then creates personalized profiles for your prospects, creates a PDF for you to then input into our custom AI and ask it questions. Who is this person? What's the best email to write to this person? What do I need to know about this person? What are the top 5 objections this person would give me? And it's there for you to save to that profile of a person. Now, if you want to use Briefed and you want to check it out for yourself, and that sounds kind of cool to you, then I'll have a link in the description below. I'll put it on the screen for you. We are doing a beta test with only a select few testers. Right now, I believe we only have 25 spots left to actually test out the product. If you'd like to be one of those 25, please click the link below, check it out, and we'll see if you're a right fit for us. Now, when it comes to analyzing the exciting ones, going over quota, what would that look like? Going over quota. This is exciting copywriting. Now, if we were to say something exciting about this and we would follow the 5 subconscious questions, how could we garner attention in our copy, making people feel this emotion, the excitement? $110 of quota always feels good. Boom. Winning streak. Ooh, this will be a tough one. This was a reach? Wow. This got number 2 and was a reach. Winning streaks. Back-to-back President's Club. Back-to-back President's Club is a moment to remember. That's okay. Back-to-back President's Club is a moment to remember. Something we could try in our copy. Team wins make me excited. Quotes. I love it when a plan comes together. Who said that? Was that A-Team? Then you just get that. I love it when a plan comes together. Boom! All right. So this is what we got. So this is creating copy for a persona. The main goal today was to analyze from our storyboard a character has a problem, to figure out who they are, type of person, where they work, tools they use, what frustrates them, what excites them, as well as deep pain or stressor that you can figure out from your research, as well as the target messaging for the top 3 in frustrations and excitements. So these are 6 pieces of content that we will actually be using. Well, there's 7 days in a week. Let's do one more. Let's do. We already talked about winning a lot. Let's do another frustration. All right. Sheer amount of data you have to analyze. This is a frustration. So this is our last one. This is a bonus one. All right, here we go. Boom. The internet is limitless. Your time is not. Stop. So this is the headline. I kind of will dip into this a little bit, but what I just went into is kind of like a subheading. So like the internet is limitless, your time is not. Then you would take, like you'd expand upon it. So if the heading was the internet is limitless, your time is not, we would do the subheading is like stop wasting your time on ineffective research before you meet with your prospect. And this would be a subheading underneath that. That's what next video is for. Is actually diving into a little bit more technical on this. So if you like this video, you learned something about copywriting, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear if this was actually effective. So appreciate you guys sticking with me, learning how to create some copy and create a persona today. So if you like this type of content, please share, subscribe. Allows other people to find this and become a little bit better themselves. So hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. Talk to you later. Peace.